Hello everyone and welcome to this tutorial. Today we're going to continue on working on this new project. We've done the last two tutorials. This will be the third tutorial in this new project. So far we've modified the build settings for our new project, and we've also integrated OpenFind into the game. So today we're going to be working on a LITE version for the game. Now I just completed this for Planet 1. Now I was always going to be doing a LITE version, but after doing a lot of reading, it's become even more apparent that it's almost a necessary thing to do for any game that you're going to charge for. So any paid game, you're probably going to want to have a LITE version. The reason is, most people want to try something out if they're going to spend money on it. And you're going to get a lot more downloads, which hopefully I'm going to get some more downloads by doing this, because of the LITE version. So someone can go in and test out how the game behaves, how the game looks, if they actually like the game style, and then decide from there if they want to spend the money on the full version. So it's typically the exact same game but with a lot less features, or only the first few levels or something along that. So let's go ahead and implement this. Hopefully we'll be able to do it in just a few minutes, so you can see how easy it is to do, and it'll give you no reason not, it won't give you any reason not to do this on your game. So the first thing we're going to do is sort of break up the myth about having to create two separate projects, one for a full version and one for a LITE version. That's just way too much code to handle. So what we want to do is have one project, so one code base that we can, if we make changes, it updates in both our full and LITE version. And in order to do that, we're going to utilize targets. So let's look at the targets right now. So right now we have our main target, the pinball game in this case. So that's going to be my full version. And what I want to do is create another target for my LITE version. There is a tool or a feature where we can go in and say create new target. But that's going to be a lot of work, and we're probably going to miss things in comparison to our full version to LITE version. So the easier way and the smarter way to do this is just to duplicate the full version target that we've already modified the build settings on. So let's just go ahead and duplicate that. So it's going to have pinball game copy, and you're going to notice that it also duplicated our info.plist. So that's called info copy.plist. So I want to change the name of these things. I'm going to rename this to be dash LITE, LITE, and then the target I'm going to rename to LITE. So I'm just going to take out this copy and go LITE. Now right off the bat, now we have two separate targets, one's LITE, one's full. And you can actually go up into here in the overview to see what you're going to build, and we can choose the active target to be LITE, and we can actually build a separate target for that. It's going to end up being the same game because we haven't really made any changes yet, but just goes to show you that this is how we would implement that. Our LITE version target, we'd want to build that, we'd select the LITE version. The full version, we'd select that one. Okay? So what we're going to do first off is make some changes to our target to represent the LITE version. And it's really not too hard, we don't have too much stuff to do. We go into our info on the target and we go to the build tab. We go all configurations. We want to make sure this is all configurations, so it doesn't matter if we're doing a debug, a release, an ad hoc, or an app store release. Then we want the LITE version to react the same on all of those. Okay, so we go to all configurations. The first thing I want to change is, we'll go ahead and change the product name. Let's just see. Okay, product name right here. So right now it's pinball. So let's just go to here for a second. And we're going to change that to be pinball game LITE. And we'll click OK. So that's done. Let's just see what that did. When we changed that product name, it also changed the name of the app that we're going to be creating. So pinball game LITE.app is now what we're going to be creating. Alright, so that's a very important step. We want to make sure we change that product name right off the bat. The next thing we're going to want to do is go into other C flags. So if I just type in other C in the search, it comes up here, other C flags. We want to add something to this. And this is going to be the flag that the code is going to go through and pick up, separating our LITE version from our full. So in order for that to happen, we want to double click on the value, click the plus symbol down here, and type in in all capitals, D for definition, LITE underscore version. Okay, and whatever you do here after the D, LITE version is what's going to represent our LITE version in the code. Okay, so I just click OK, and that should pop up here. D-LITE version, D-LITE version, looks good. And then let's just see here. The last thing I want to do is tell it to use the new plist file that we just that was created for us and we just renamed. I'm just going to type plist in here. It's going to come up with info.plist file. So remember, it created that info copy for us. We changed the name of that, so we want to make sure we do that here. And another thing we have to do that I find it doesn't compile properly is tell it where it's located. So resources / info. Let's just erase this. LITE. And click OK. So those are the three things that we need to change. First one was the product name. The second one was adding in a flag for the LITE version so it knows to find that in the code. And the third was the plist file. Okay, so those three things are done. I can close out of here. And now I just have to make a slight change to the info plist. So I just go into here, info LITE plist. And the thing we're going to change here is our icon file. Right now it copied over icon.png, which was my full version's icon, which would show up on the device. Well, I want this icon to be different for the LITE version. So all I have to do is just create another PNG file, import it into the resources folder here. So in this case, I might say icon LITE, and whatever that file name is for that new icon is what I put into this info LITE plist. Okay, so I would just double click on there and say LITE or whatever whatever I name that file. In this case, I don't have a file, so I'll just leave it the same for now. Second thing you have to do, and this is the last thing that we have to do in order to prepare ourselves for the LITE version, is change the bundle identifier. This is so that Apple and the devices know that it's a separate app, so that when you can upload the full version and the LITE version to the phone, and we can also upload it to our app store as two separate files or applications. So all I do there is just change the bundle identifier. I'm just going to add a LITE to the end of it. So there we go, now it's changed. Now we can create a new Apple ID in the provisioning center and create a new provisioning file for this bundle identifier. Okay, so I hope all that made sense. We're done all the changes, so let's go modify our code to represent a LITE and a full version. This code right now is just based on the template that we got from Cocos2d, the new version. So in here, the best thing to do, just to illustrate this, is to change a label that shows up. So right now, the label had something written here. What I'm going to do is have a label say full version and then a LITE version label. So let's look at how we do that. Wherever you want to have code different from LITE to full, all we have to do is put an if statement in, and it's going to look like this. The definition is LITE version, so remember we typed that into the target for the other C flags. If it's LITE version, run this code. Else, so if it's not LITE version, in our case a full version, run this code. And then we end if. So let's go through there. We'll just cut that label out, and we'll put a label for the LITE version, a label for the full version. Our full version will have it say full version, like I have here. And the LITE version, I'm going to just have that say LITE version. So now we have two separate labels here. That's going to switch it out whether I build to LITE or full. And that's it. So you can do this anywhere in your code where you want to swap code out depending on if it's LITE or full. And it's very easy to implement, just like we just did now. There's a couple other ones you can do. You don't have to have this else statement. You can have, if we just want to add a feature that's not in the full version, but you want it to be in the LITE version, all you have to do is just do an if-def LITE version, put the code you want to add in, and then end if, right? If you want to have it in the full version but not the LITE version, we just have to stick an n in here. So if n def, then you write LITE version. Whatever code we're going to put here will show up in the full version and not the LITE version. Okay, but the most basic way of doing this is just the way I have it here. If def LITE version, else, and if, and then put your code in there. Simple as that.